From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stounger.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John.
How y'all are? Cajun Rob here hanging out with you.
All right. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here, Rob.
Yeah, it's funny. There's more snow and cold in South Mississippi and South Louisiana now than it is up here in Kentucky.
Isn't that a shame?
Yep. And hey, Rock Holiday, I'm glad you got more snow than I do this time. So,
and he has more snow than I do. Move south. Hey, so much for the snowbirds.
Yep. And Barker Rugers is out playing in the snow. So it's your turn, boys. So have fun.
He's probably out cracking ice with his boat.
There ain't no telling, man. There ain't no telling.
Right. We love you guys, so we'd actually love to see you keep it too.
We got 2 comments coming in, man. We're rolling.
All right.
Small water.
Crop play out. Oh.
Yep.
Good evening, smallmouth. And Daniel, hey, welcome back. Daniel, do you have any snow? Because I think he's from Texas.
Oh, yeah. He might. It's cold down there. I know that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get on to this introduction here. Tonight's guest is a co-angler from Mississippi. He fishes the BFLs in the Toyota Series, qualified for the BFL Regional. And I believe that I'm not sure if he did the Toyota Series Championship last year or not.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Yep. Okay. I thought so, but I didn't want to lie. He's also he's also in with Real Cast Custom Baits. He also helps develop their lures. And let's bring him on up. Mr. James Menold.
Hey, guys.
How's it going, brother?
Good. How are y'all doing?
I'll try to stay warm, man. How about you?
Oh, same. Little cold here.
Oh, yeah.
We'll send it back to you after the show.
Okay. Yeah, bring it on, man.
No, it's 10 degrees here.
Well, it's supposed to be 9 here tonight.
Oh,
that's rough, Mississippi.
Yeah, there'll be some bunch of broken pipes, busted pipes.
Yes,
I worked at Pearl River Junior College in maintenance for a little while, and man, it got that cold one time, and we had pipes busted everywhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll be calling for plumbers tomorrow.
No doubt. It's gonna be a good day for a plumber tomorrow.
That's it.
No, it won't.
No, well, the blessing and the curse at the same time.
Yep. But James, welcome to the show. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Oh, here's Daniel real quick. Ooh, it's cold, but 20 flakes. Does that count as the snow? Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Technically, it does.
That's right.
All right, James. I know your bedtime's coming up pretty soon, like the rest of us elder statesmen. Let's get
to the wrong man. I don't sleep much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's find out a little bit about your background and how you got started fishing and go from there.
I've been in love with fishing since I could throw a fishing pole, and everybody asked me when I was a kid, what do you want to do when you get older? And I told them, I want to be a professional fisherman, and that's all I wanted to do. And, I used to fish team trails back in the day, Redman's, a bunch of them circuits.
Yep.
And, then kind of switched over and started fishing Cabela's. Cabela's used to sponsor us, and we fished King Cat trails. Me and my wife did it for a long time. And, got back into bass fishing and fished team trails, Texas, everywhere. And then, MLF came along and, kind of jumped in on that. Just going to do it for a couple of years, as a co-angler. And
right.
I work a lot in the summertime. You know, I have a
Yeah.
business, and that's what it pays the bill. So I work from can to can and then fish when you can jump in on tournaments, you know.
Yeah.
So the co-angler fit me good, so I could, I've been lucky and fished all over the United States. So, and then first year, the co-angler, Ouachita, Rick made the regionals. I've made the regionals every year since I fished as a co.
Oh wow!
And then I got second place. It's my own fault, I should have won it. I lost it myself. Nobody else, I only had 4 fish the last day, and it was just, that was it, but I had a goal this year to make the regionals, for BFL and the Toyota championships. I've been to several regionals, all Americans, I fished it, but last year I didn't make the regionals and the Toyota championship. So, this year we have, a few more goals. We looking for that win. I fished with a lot of the guys around, and, I made a lot of good friends, boaters and co-anglers.
Yep.
And, everybody's been rooting. They know my time has come. And I believe last year was my time, but, we lost our son in September, and that's him right here. And that's what I'll be fishing for this year. And, that got in my head, I wasn't going to go fish anymore. I was done last year. And my granddaughter, she's the one and that's her right here.
Right.
And she's like, because she goes to all of our tournaments, and we pull a little camper, and she enjoys it, and she's the one that kind of pushed me, so we, it's a place for me and my wife and my granddaughter. We have her, and we just, that's our time to kind of get away a little bit, so, but, this year we've got a Toyota tournament at Pickwick, which is our home water, and it's fishing unbelievable right now. If you ain't got 30 pounds, you might as well not even come to the weigh-in. Yeah. It's been unreal. It's been on fire. It's only going to get better, Yeah. But we've got, we've my sponsor, I had a few other sponsors. This year I'm just going to take just a couple sponsors and concentrate on doing what I do, going back to the basics, fishing the way what got me here, and because I kept beating myself by listening to Doc talk or listening to a boater tell me, hey, you got to be fishing. This is what we're fishing. And I have fished behind some of the best boaters. And I'm going to tell you, the Toyota Series, I would put my money on them boaters in the Toyota Series against the Elite Series guys. And I'm just telling you, them pros would have some trouble with these boys from Toyota Series.
No doubt.
These are some hammers, and I've been fortunate to draw some of the best, Tater Reynolds, Mark Colby from California. These guys are hammers, man. I mean, they don't leave much behind. Brett Chapman, I've got the pleasure of fishing behind him, and these guys have, at the end of the day, and you could pick up the phone right now and call Tater Reynolds, call Brett Chapman, Mark, you can call any of them, and they'll say the only co-angler that's ever beat me out of the back of my boat is James.
Oh, hey.
And I've beat, but I was doing my thing. And then I got to listening to what everybody, I thinking, boy, if I did mine, man, if I did theirs, they did really good that day. And I end up whipping myself, so, but, this year, my goal, that win's coming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not forcing it. It's just coming. I feel it. I know it. I'm tired of them fifths, them tenths, them seconds. It's time for that. Hold that. And it's not about chasing that money. It's not about, it's about finishing a goal.
Yeah.
That's what my goal is. It's just to know that, I made that decisions right. This year last year in the regional, I drew a guy out of Texas, and he said, I don't have much to go on. We're going to try it, but if you got anything, we've got a mutual friend, and he's like, James is he's good at breaking down water. And we talked, and we fished his spot for about a half hour. He said, they moved. What do you got? And I took him to a spot, and I told him, I said, I won't show nobody else. This is your spot. And he caught 16-8 the first day. Dude. Went in there, and I mean, he lit him up. It was a 100-yard stretch. Oh. I told him, I said, I'm telling you, there's something special about this little spot. And he cast a big check. Toyota Championship, second day, I drew a guy, and I fished with his buddy the first day. And, we talked, and I mean, I caught fish behind an actual hammer. I mean, he was, and I had my limit real quick. And the next day, his guy's like, what do you got? And I said, well, come on, I got a spot. We need to be there. We pulled up there and we fished around a little bit. He said, man, I'm seeing them. I said, they're either, these fish are inactive. We got to go shallower, or we got to go deeper. We just got to move one of the two on them. We'll find the ones that's feeding. We went shallow. He flipped up in there, 6-pound, 8-ounce smallmouth. Dude. And he looked at me, and he just had this big smile. He's from California, and he's like, I could do this all the time.
Yes.
So it just made me feel good as a co-angler, that some of the guys, there's a time to lie and bull around, but when it comes time to fishing, they know, hey, it's time, I'm not going to stray you. I'm going to tell you, if it was me, this is what I would do,
Yep.
Listen, that makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's run through a couple of these comments real quick.
There's one of your fans right there.
Yeah, Ashley Klaus.
Hey, girls. I miss you too.
Randy Franklin says there's no snow in Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
That's Randy. That's my sponsor there from Real Fast Custom Baits.
Okay. Pretty country up there.
And Emily Dawn says, go, Jim.
Thank you, Emily.
All right.
And Gary White says, miss you, brother. Wants to fish with you again.
Yeah, that was up on Ohio. We fished that Ohio River a lot.
That's tough up there.
Yes, sir. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
I caught one fish with BFL up there once. I almost cashed a check on one fish, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's why you have Mr. Consistency, Bill Owen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Amy Klaus says Pickwick is the devil.
You can have a love-hate relationship with Pickwick.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's me on Gunnersville.
Oh, I feel you on Gunnersville, but I finally learned a couple tricks at Gunnersville.
Yep. Yeah.
That was, everybody's on them traps, and I can't catch a fish on a trap. I can't keep a fish on a trap.
Yeah.
I can catch them. I just can't keep them, But I got a solution for Gunnersville.
Dynamite?
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's Chickamauga, too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
Ashley also says you're due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overdue.
It's coming. It's coming. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, sorry about that,
I
Southern
didn't send
Holler.
it
Don't
to
know
him.
why you're not getting a notification.
You can't
Glad
see
you
the
made it.
replay on YouTube later, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's my fault. I am not allowed to touch any computer. My wife has to set everything up because I'm telling you, she tells me I have to keep my hands in my pockets unless I'm
Uh-oh.
touching a fishing lure because I'll break something. I'm not allowed to touch nothing electronic.
Uh-oh.
There's my buddy.
Yep.
Chris.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm fishing it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, good evening, guys. John Adams.
Yep.
With
Hey,
Star
how's it going,
Lures.
John?
Got firsthand experience listening before I ever knew him. Dude is one of the nicest guys I ever met.
My wife and I was camping on a little island, a little sandbar, and there was a creek run up beside it. And him and his partner was in a bass tournament. And I was just sitting there, and they came up and they was fishing. I told him, I was like, "Do you have any of this lure?" I got something close to it. And I told him, I said, "You need to put that on." I said, "You need to put on this jig." And he came up there, he put that little lure on. About 3 or 4 casts later, he caught a 3.5 pounder right at my feet.
Wow.
And they went up in the creek and, we just can't catch them. We can't, there's nothing. I jumped in the boat, went to the brush pile, looked at them, flipped the jig in there, bounced it twice and set the hook. And I mean, here she come. I told him, I said, "I ain't fishing no more. I'm going back to the sandbar." I went to the sandbar and they worked around there and they caught a nice little bag of fish.
Good.
But I didn't
Nice.
even know him. Now we're good friends.
Yep.
Southern Holler says he had the YouTube set to send him notification and live stream it live, so he made it.
All
Good
right.
deal. Good deal.
Yeah. Chris McCarter is going to be there as well with Pickwick.
Yep. Yeah.
Good.
And Ashley says you meet everyone camping.
I know.
Now that's one girl I want. If I'm camping down south,
Yep.
she's going to protect me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. But
She keeps the gators off of you. She keeps the gators off of you.
She can't protect somebody coming out in a towel in the mornings. Ask her about that. It was not me,
Oh.
but we had a clown between us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I was fishing a tournament, and I come back. I was on the way back, and my sponsor Randy, him and I was talking, and I was complaining. Yeah, she's laughing about that one.
Oh, yeah.
But I was complaining and telling him, he's like, "What's the problem?" And I was telling him, man, nobody makes what I need, and we was throwing a fit and he hauling back and forth, and he just told me, he said, "Design it," and first I thought he was joking, and I told him, I said, "I've been making this for a while, but I'm gluing stuff together to build what I'm wanting. I've tried worm weld, I've tried everything, and it's not working to hold it together, And so I started bouncing my ideas off of him and sent him a couple pictures, and I mean, I lit a fire, and within about an hour we had on paper, him and I was back and forth, and I'm like, no, this needs to be here, this changed this, and this needs to be, and I wanted a soft jerk bait, but I wanted it jointed.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when you come up with the joint that holds, and I mean, this thing, you can fold it, you can tie it or not. We played with different plastics, the colors, these are some of mine. The eyes we do glass eyes, all kinds of eyes in them. But these right here is what we ended up with.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, we designed them as a soft jerk bait. And then we started drop shotting them. And then we started running these on trailers for chatterbaits. And I'm telling you, when you talk about a jackhammer hunting, a jackhammer, it's got that natural hunt.
Yep.
You put this twitch on there, and I'm telling you, this jackhammer will go 18, 20 inches on the hunt. This thing it comes to life. If, to get a good perspective of what it actually looks like in the water, you can go to Real Fast Custom Baits. We have several videos on it. We have them up for sale. They use that JMT code. It gets them 15% off, or JMT.
15.
Yep.
It's 15% off of them.
15.
Yeah, JMT 15.
Okay.
See, my wife is coaching me on the other side.
Yeah. Now, you don't have a lure in your hand, so you better put your hand in your pocket. Don't want you getting beat up before the show's over.
Yes, sir. I've been married long enough that I know that I get the last word of every argument. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Good man.
It goes. But I mean, she travels all over the United States with me. Last year we fished about 20 tournaments. So I mean, we fish. Nope, I'm not telling her, because you two can't play nice together.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Hey, Ashley.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But it's getting back to my sponsors. Silverleaf is one of my sponsors, and that's a construction company here locally. And Elusive Baits. Last night you had or a couple nights ago you had a gentleman on talking about having two plastic companies.
Yep.
Yes.
But Randy at Real Fast, he's a firm believer, and he does not want to build swim baits.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a swim bait, and I agree. Randy's custom baits. That's what he does, is custom stuff. That's what him and I, we hit it off, and we designed the Twitch.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I'll get you guys some of these lures to try. You can use them on anything. I'm telling you, it's a crossover bait that is unbelievable. Where as a co-angler or kayak fisherman, you're limited on space.
Yeah.
And you got to have, and nowadays everybody's fishing a jig minnow, and so you've got 20 packs of minnows and different weights, hooks, and different jig heads and different trailers. You can take this right here. You can Texas rig it. You can run it on a wobble head, chatterbait trailer, spinnerbait trailer. You can weightless it. You can drop shot it. You can Nico it. You can skip it. I'm telling you, I haven't found anything that you can't do with it. One of the good things about this is solid.
Yeah.
The whole head of this is solid.
Okay.
A lot of people was wondering, hey, the nose is wanting to rip out of this bait. It's a harder plastic than most soft baits. It's a little bit harder, and we designed it this way. And everybody's asking me, if you're not fishing this in cover, if you're trying to tick the top of the grass, take a centering pin, screw in here at the top, take a number 2 Nico hook and just barely hook it. If you throw this out and you don't think that this is a live fish, I'll buy it back. That's how much action this has.
Wow.
This, when you hook it, nose hook it like that, and I showed Randy when we went and shot a video, and I've been explaining it to him, how to hook this, and he wasn't really understanding, and I told him about the centering pin.
Yep.
I did that, and I'm just telling you, just reeling it, this thing, I'm telling you, it is all over ups. You just have to try it to see what it does. And I'm telling you, it's got a lot of action. And with me doing that with the nose hook and the center pin, I mean, I was catching 20, 30 fish before I ripped it.
Man.
So when you can get a bait that you can catch multiple fish on and not lose it, yeah, it's a good bait.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Now, you mentioned something about the Toyota Championship. How about we try to make it and we could share a house or something?
that's great. Come on.
Let's do it.
Sound
I'm
like
going to make it. I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it there this year. I mean, I've got here's my my schedule this year is I start at Pickwick for the Toyotas. I go to Pickwick for the first BFL.
Wow.
I go to Chickamauga. Then I go to I go to Chickamauga. Then I'm in Columbus, or no, I'm in Gunnersville. Those are my three for the Toyota, and then I'm back at Pickwick, and then I fish Ross Barnett, and then I'm back at Pickwick.
Wow. I'll take
All
a
right.
step
So I got Pickwick 4 tournaments this year.
on your home water. Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Got a few comments I'm gonna roll through here real quick. Our old buddy Nuke, Day Trader Nuke says too cold to fish. Y'all on your own. I'm making hot chocolate and fixing up tackle. Y'all doing too much. Hey, you gotta adapt and overcome, brother. Adapt and overcome.
We'll put a heater in the boat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Southern Holler said true story. And we got a Midwest Fishing and Outdoor. We're saying hello all. Hey, how's it going, Midwest? Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
And Southern Holler also says, also planning to make a small order for the Twitch in the morning. There you go. He's sold.
There you go.
Now listen. Take it from me. There's no such thing as a small order. What you plan on buying one bag of, buy 6.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't let them run out.
They're going to have enough.
I have a room designed in my house that's just for fishing stuff. You know,
Oh, wow.
I mean, not a garage. I'm talking about a room, and it kind of led over into the living room and the dining room, and
It happens. It happens.
yeah.
Alyssa Weaver says awesome.
Hi, girl.
And you might
Now,
know this. Randy.
Yeah, Randy, JMT5.
Yep. That's a code that they can get 15% off of the baits.
Awesome.
All right.
So
Now I'm fishing the northern Toyota division, so
we'll be what is be at Kentucky Lake this year, won't we?
I don't know. I didn't look that far ahead.
Yeah, we'll be at Kentucky.
I took the week off from work.
I'll be at we'll be at Kentucky, and then regional I'll be at Grand.
Okay.
If you're at Kentucky Lake, go buy Fast Eddie's. He's got a tackle shop and a restaurant. Man, it's awesome. You definitely got to eat there.
Man, I'm a fat guy. I like to eat now.
Hey, you see me, man. You know I know the good places.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'll bring some cookies.
There you go.
Ooh, oh, man. Uh-oh.
You know what's sad? James might get the cookies before.
What?
Take that off the screen.
I
I don't want my wife to see that.
You better hope the missus don't see that.
There
Oh
you
no,
go.
she's good with it. She's good with it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I don't buy one pack at a time.
No.
I
No,
don't,
because-
like I buy crankbaits, I buy 6 at a time because I don't want to have that be the right one and then run out.
Well,
Yep.
my wife was looking for something to do, so we went and got a license, and we opened up a bait and tackle shop, and we
Awesome.
made 2 orders a week.
Yep.
One for the shop, one for me. I
Hey.
had a wholesale license, so I was buying crankbaits by the case.
Yep.
But this was 20 years ago. But I bought cases and cases of the original wiggle warts that are still in cardboard box that had never even been opened. Bandits that when we was buying bandits, I think we was giving like $1.30 a piece for them. I was giving $2 a piece for the wiggle warts, you know. And if my wife knew what those warts was worth, she'd be on eBay right now, and we'd be getting that thing called divorce.
You got gold in there. You got gold right there.
Yeah, but I use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can ask Tater Reynolds. We was at Ouachita, and he was scoping through all that standing timber in 100 foot of water. And I picked up a wiggle wart, and he just looked at me and he said, "What are you going to do with that?" And about the second time I boat flipped a 4-pounder in, he's like, "In 100 foot of water." I said, "You've never banged a wiggle wart off a standing timber?" And he's looked at me and he said, "No." I said, "I'm going to school you today." And I whooped the daylights out of him. Bad.
Clinic was on.
Yes. But I mean, we used to do it all the time when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
It don't matter what the depth was. Take that wiggle wart and you just 8-pound test line and you bang it off a timber. And when it hits it and rolls out, you better be holding on.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they'll come for a long ways.
Uh-oh.
John buys a dozen at a time and fishes one per year.
Are we talking about donuts or lures?
or cookies. Or cookies. I don't know.
No, we're talking about crankbaits because I'm not a big crankbait person. Chris was Tater's co-angler there also.
Yep, sure was. Yep.
All right. So what brought you back into bass fishing? Because you went and fished catfish and then came back to bass fishing.
Well, it was the competition. I just love it. You know, okay. I'm an avid. I guess if I had one lure to fish, it'd be a jig.
Yep. And
I mean, I'm good with the jig, and it just got to the point where I don't know. I got kind of a sour taste in the tournament trail I was fishing. Had my son, he was 15. We won, and they, I don't know, some discrepancies came up because, you know, he wasn't underage, and I threw a big fit, and, you know, it's what the sport's about. Promoting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And just kind of, you know, all the hate and this and that over this kid. It's because the kid beat him. And I'm telling you, I ran the trolling motor and he put a jig in his hand and he whooped everybody, me included.
Wow.
And he was, you know, I was razzing other guys around us, you know, and he was too. And I guess they took offense of it. And we was all cutting up. And then somebody got hurt feeling. So it just put a sour taste in my mouth, and I just kind of left, and we went to catfishing tournaments, and then that trail, you know, went away, and
yep,
I went back to the team trail, and I really enjoyed it. I like Texas lakes, you know, and that's where I fished a lot of Texas lakes, and you know, fished all over the place.
Okay.
Yep. But talking about catfish, it's amazing now. Guys are paying $200, $300 for rods and reels now for catfish. That blows my mind,
buddy. I'm telling you, there's equipment in catfishing, and honestly, forward facing sonar they've been using that in catfish terms. Unreal. I mean, these guys can pick off a 80-pound catfish, you know, just like we're out fishing for fish, you know, just fishing for bass. Yep. You know, the forward facing sonar, I believe. You know, a lot of the co-anglers, they hate it, you know. Way you look at it, if he's good with the forward-facing sonar, you're around fish all the time.
Absolutely.
And if you can stand in the back of that boat and you can watch that screen. And if he's throwing at a fish, I'm watching which way that fish is going. Most of the time, he'll throw it at 1 or 2 times. That fish is coming my way. I'm going to lead him about 30 foot, and I'm going to pick him off. And then, you know, the other trick is when he hooks one, specially spotted bass, the right corner of the back of that boat, as soon as he hooks it, it says, "Oh, here they come." Drop your bait.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, I'm going to catch the biggest one because the little one's going to run up and grab his minnow.
Yep.
The big one's trying to take it away from him. When that big one
Yep.
sees that bait hanging out, I've done it so many times, it's unreal. Catching them right off the right corner of the boat, you know, and they're just little tricks that you can pay attention to.
Yes.
And, you know, like jig head minnow, we've been doing that since the 80s. Didn't call it a jig head minnow. We don't know, you know, but we didn't have forward facing sonar then. You know, we used to take a razor blade and an old sassy shad and slice it down the middle, cut it the way we want it, put it on a jig head, and we would wear them out. You know, we've been doing that 20 plus years. You know, now all of a sudden it's a rage. And that's been around for a long time, but we didn't have forward facing sonar to go with it. That's what
same as the Ned rig.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you and I were talking before the show. I mean, we're throwing ball headed jigs with straight minnows on or straight worms on them for years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I used to take Cinco's, cut them in half, take marabou, stick it in the end of the worm, put a jig head, and just let it sit, dead stick it. And the marabou would sit there and do this in the current. You wouldn't even have to move it. I did that, and I was a kid when I was doing that. So that's been at least a year or two.
Couple years.
Yeah, a couple.
Well, Senko's came out in early or late 90s.
Yep. So
we're not saying anything, James.
Nope. Nope. But it's some like the old baits, you know, that are the old tubes, the little finesse tubes, the 2 and 3 or 2.5 inch tubes. We used to take cut a chunk off of anything and take those little weighted tube jig heads and put them in. Man, wear out fish. We'd catch everything from brim and crappie, bass. It didn't matter. They all bit it.
Absolutely. But yeah, that old tube seems like it's gone away, but it's coming back. Seems like a lot of guys are flipping them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many tricks to it. You ever fish Tokyo rigs?
Oh yeah.
Put a tube on it once, see what it does. A loud colored tube. It's unreal. But you know, this year I've made myself, you know, I'm gonna stay true to my fishing, you know. That's what I want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's old school techniques, man, like the old ball and chain Carolina rig. I've been on Dale Hollow so many times. Some old man fishing a ball and chain and wear me out.
I had a guy fish Toyota last year, wore me out with it, you know, and I was throwing an old monster. I had a lot of confidence in that big old June bug worm.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you, he put it on me with that Carolina rig.
Oh yeah.
You know? So
yeah, I used to have an ex-father-in-law in Knoxville, and he would Carolina rig like a floating a Rapala or floating Rebel, and I was like, that don't work. Yeah, about 10 smallmouth in the boat, and I was like, I think it does work.
We used to do that on walleyes, you know.
Oh hey,
with Smithwicks too.
Yep,
Smithwicks. Yep, we used to do that. I mean, that was sometimes was better than live bait.
Yeah.
You know, and everything like that's it's forgotten. You know, I'm gonna tell you another little trick. Take that Smithwick and you cut the football head off of a wobblehead jig.
Yep.
Put an O-ring on it. Stick it on the front of that Smithwick and drag it once. Smithwick will stand up like that, and it just digs in all you're doing is dragging it. But man, it goes crazy down there, and them hooks click, and it looks like a bait fish down on the bottom feeding.
Wow, I'm gonna definitely try that out.
We used to do like that with walleyes, and then we'd catch a bunch of stripes and bass and ledge. I'm lucky because I have ledges here at Pickwick, so you can experiment with all kinds of stuff. And I'm telling you, if you can fish, you get good at fishing lead fishing, you can fish anywhere.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's an art. You know, these guys have taught me a lot with the scrounger heads and the castics, minnows, the jerky jays. the hair jigs, the spoons. I mean, they've schooled me in a bunch of it. Now I've caught on. I watched too many of them, and
Yep.
But
You like me? I was born, but not yesterday.
that's right. And here, that's where I'd get caught up. I'd be fishing my bait, knowing I'm going to catch a big fish, and that's what I like to fish for. Just like deer hunting, I don't like just a deer hunt. I want to hunt a big mature buck. Just like fishing, I want to catch a big fish. I'm not trying to catch a limit every time. I'm just going. I'm honestly, as a co-angler, I'm fishing for big fish.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm doing. And I'll be fishing, dragging a jig or stroking a jig, and he'll be up there Nico rigging. Well, he starts catching fish, and I find myself, all right, I'm gonna put a Nico rig on.
Yeah.
Knowing I might catch 3 or 4 fish, but they might weigh a pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds when I should have left the jig on and catch that 6, 8, 10 pounder. And that's what I get caught up doing that.
That's easy to happen. Easy to happen.
So I got a question for you. You're from the north.
Yes.
Moved down south. Do you find it easier easier or harder being down south because you're fishing for bigger bites than quantity?
No, at first I did.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the southern fish, when I first came here, I had a hard time trying to catch them.
Okay.
I just couldn't figure this out, because up there we have a lot of clear water. Here the water was muddy. Sometimes, there's some areas here that you have to shake a trap to get it through the mud to get it into the water. Yep. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I wasn't used to the heavy grass, but I believe that the fishing up north was taught me my skills.
Yeah.
I believe, honestly, the fishing up north was harder than it was here once I figured it out. It's basically the same thing, but I was trying to learn how to fish down here. And, I always used to think, okay, I'm in 100 foot of water, I got to have bottom contact. No, you don't.
No.
Most of the time in 100 foot of water, I catch my fish in 10 foot deep.
Yep.
I mean, that's, the good thing about being a co-angler is you can ask him. He's up there chasing them around. How deep are they looking? They're below the ball or are they above the ball? And most of the time the guys will say, hey, they're 10 foot down. Count that jig 10 foot down and man, start work. They're decent. I've had a few. Yeah.
I understand.
That was difficult. And I had one at Dardanelle, and I'm telling you, was a class act. And I'm telling you, I got to the point where I was about ready to send my wife a text and tell her just pick me up on a bank wherever I got out at. And I sat down for a minute. I cut every lure off my rods. I didn't tie nothing else but a jig.
Yep.
And I thought, I'm fixing to school this professional. And at the end of the day, he looked at me and he said, I don't even want to go the weigh-in with you. He had a 14-inch fish. I was boat flip. I didn't even ask for a net, nothing. I boat flipped a 6-pounder. I boat flipped several 5-pounders up over his graph and laid him down by his feet and then slid him back to me just so he could get a good look at him. I've turned my anger into thinking, okay, that's it. I'm gonna beat him. That's what my job is to do. Put this jig in my hand and go to work. And that's what I did.
I think I'm sorry.
After that, we settled our differences then,
Yeah, I feel co-anglers.
That's pretty funny right there.
Yeah, I think co-anglers have a habit of trying to do what the boater, because they're called pros.
Yes.
I mean, when I was growing up, they weren't called pros; they were called boaters and co-anglers.
Correct.
boaters and non-boaters.
Right. And I think that
then-
goes to a lot of their heads.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I mean, anybody can be considered a pro as long as they want to pay the entry fee.
Correct. Yes.
So,
Oh, James, you in trouble now. You got
Ashley remembers that story. You know what? She's coming on next month.
ah,
Yep.
Oh, mama's on you.
You're
Mama's
outnumbered.
on you.
I'm in trouble.
Yep.
Yep. And you're on her computer. She might ground you.
I know. That's all right.
Won't be the first time, will it?
No, sir, won't be the last. You know, even in our wedding vows, and I have it on video to prove it, that it says, you take him through sickness and health and through deer season. That's how avid of a nut I am for fishing and hunting, you know. But an old man told me one time, he said, if you teach your children to hunt and fish, you never hunt your kids again, because you always know where they're at. And that's how I was raised. That's how I raised my kids. You know, we hunt, we fish, you know, we enjoy the outdoors, and, you know, that's what life's about, is enjoying it. And
Absolutely.
It's not so much, you know, like, I enjoy the competition of fishing. I live for it. And, you know, I'm to the point where I get in somebody's boat and we're going out through it. It don't matter if it's a Toyota tournament or if it's a BFL tournament. I'll have 60, 70 people. Hey, James. Hey, James. You know, the boaters just look at me like, you get to meet some great friends.
Oh, you do.
And I mean, you know, I've got guys that are coming for the Toyotas, you know, that's been messaging me, hey, what's the fish at Pickwick doing? I told him, I said, if you ain't got 30 pounds, don't be coming.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, that's in.
Yeah. And they're like, seriously? I'm like, yeah. And I send them with the winter trail. And I'm telling you that there's going to be some exceptional weights at this Toyota Series.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some 40-pound bags.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Even with the
amazing.
amount of anglers?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to get a 40-pound bag up in St. Lawrence.
You a pro, girl.
You're a pro.
Yep. That's funny. I'm far from it. Give yourself some credit, girl. You're going to do good.
Yeah,
She's good.
She's going BFL boater this year.
I designed this color for her.
Oh, hey.
Yep.
I know what it is.
Yep. Green pumpkin blue.
Ooh. That's a winning color everywhere.
Yes, sir. She turned me on to that color with a shaky head, and I hate fishing a shaky head. I absolutely hate it. But she turned me on to that color. Oh yeah.
Close.
But she turned me on to that color, and I'm gonna tell you, that was at Smith Lake.
Yep.
And they like it. They like it. And I took it to Chickamauga and saved my bacon up at Chickamauga with that. Yeah. So
it looks like a brim.
Yeah.
Yeah. You notice that this color, and it's got that added a little smoke.
Who makes that chatterbait?
Cross-eyed.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I take the weed guard out. I'm not a fan of the weed guards.
Yeah.
No. But I've played around. I was late on the chatterbait.
I was too.
I was late. I thought it was a gimmick. I said, I'm not throwing it. I'm not doing it.
Guilty.
Until I got my butt whipped. I was a spinnerbait, man. And I'm going to tell you, that chatterbait put it on them. And finally, I started playing around with it, and I like it. You know, I really like it.
Yeah, I got a buddy. He fishes chatterbait year round. I mean, year round. That's how much confidence he has in it.
Yeah.
I fish on the Potomac and catch catfish like a king.
I had a hard
catfish won't eat.
no.
They eat spinner baits and crankbaits. I know that very well.
Yes, they will.
They eat chatterbaits and jigs too.
Yes. we was at the BFL regional in Texas this year or last year, and my boater, he was hooked up, and he's like, "Man, I've been watching this big fish over here by this stump." I flipped my jig up there, and I mean it didn't sink 2 foot, and I felt thump, and I reared back, and it stopped, and I said, "Uh-oh." He said, "What do you got?" I said, "I don't know, but it's real big." It was about a 40-pound catfish.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I caught a big drum.
Yep.
We were fishing Potomac, me and Joe Libera. He's going to be on our sponsorship show next month. And I'm throwing a chatterbait, letting it get towards the bottom. And all of a sudden, I felt it. I set the hook, and the rod just about flew out of my hand. And he looks at me, he says, "If that's a catfish, I don't want it in my boat. You either get it out or cut the line."
Yeah, sir.
Yep.
I was at we was at Oklahoma last year for the regionals. Not 23. We was there. Trying to think of what the lake was. You fished it. Did you fish 23 regional BFL?
I believe I did. I think I was there. I think years all kind of go together.
Yeah, I know. We was out there. We was crankbait fishing, and it was Eufaula, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah, we was crankbait fishing. We were in 20 foot of water, and I mean, my rod loaded up. I set the hook, and I told him, I said, "Man, this feels funny, but it's got a lot of weight to it." My boater's up there. He's leaning.
Eufaula.
Yeah, Eufaula,
Yep.
Chris.
Yep.
He's leaning up there with the net. I have never caught a snake that big on a crankbait. I'm talking a snake this big around.
Cottonmouth?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
About 6 foot long. And I caught him in about, 10, 12 foot of water. He must have been swimming. I must have snagged him.
Yep.
But he was all balled up, and I raised him up, and my boater about jumped over the trolling motor. I was going over the back of the boat, and I just reached up and cut the line, let him have it. Well, everybody was towing up and down that bank fishing, get to the weigh-in, and everybody's talking about this big cottonmouth with a chartreuse crankbait sticking out of the side. And I said, "That's fine. You can have that bait if you want to go get it." And they're like,
It's all
"Nope."
yours. It's all my catfish. I think I had a Toyota on Chickamauga one time, and I was rolling a little quarter-ounce spinnerbait up shallow, in the grass, and something took off with it, and I seen a brown flash. I said, "Oh, man, I got a smallmouth." No, it's about 18-pound flathead.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I mean, Chris came in sixth on Eufaula. I was figuring I was gonna have a fish fry, but Joe wouldn't let me bring it in the boat.
No, he said nada.
All right, James, what's your favorite homemade cookie?
Oatmeal raisin.
There you go.
Old school.
Yep. Do you want to take some time to talk about your sponsors?
Yeah. I'd like to say a big thank you.
Yes.
To you guys for having me.
Yep.
For what you do, what you're doing for this sport, for the recognition that you're giving co-anglers, and being able to come on a podcast and talk normal, pros, cons, whatever, but talk about it, instead of sitting back and hearing all the doc talk of negativity of the sport. We all got to get along.
Yes.
Instead of being negative, come out and just, and I'll be the one to admit I've done it myself,
Yeah, we all have.
But sit back, after losing our son, my world changed, my thinking, my everything, 28 years old, perfect health, brain aneurysm while I was on the phone with him while I was at a tournament, and we lost him. So instead of spending your time being negative, find the brighter thing in everything. Love your kids, love your wife, love the people around you. I've gotten to the point where I'm so that I say it so much that I'll be talking to one of my friends on the phone, get ready to hang up. All right, love you, bud. See you tomorrow. Yeah, and not even think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you got to show love, honestly. Put God first, and you can do things on your own, but it don't get you a lot of places. I've been hard-headed my life, and with losing our son, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I learned a lot from him. And I wish I was as good a man as he was. His little girl, Allie's, she's a trooper, my friends, my sponsors, Randy's, he's my brother. I mean, when this happened, I had my fishing family reach out to me that I was so overwhelmed with that broke my heart. I mean, they was there. Phone calls. I bet you I had 600 calls, texts, whatever you need. I mean, guys from all over the United States. You need us, we're on our way. And that's from a co-angler fishing in the back of a boat.
Yeah.
Randy trusted me to do this lure, and it's kept my mind off of a lot of things. And I've poured my heart into this, and my son is looking down on us, and he knows that with my mind, I got to have something to keep me occupied.
Yes.
And Randy gave me the opportunity to design this lure, and it's called the JMT Twitch. And it ain't just a fishing lure. It's a journey, and it's a story. So every time that somebody fishes one of these lures and I fish it, I think of me and my son sitting down on paper drawing this thing up, and my son was amazing on a computer, and he was an amazing man. And but Randy, very special to me. Bruce Simpson with Silverleaf Construction, he's my brother too. I mean, he was right there. They've all been there. All the fishing community, the family. My hat's off to y'all. That's what this sport means to me, is family.
Yes.
And it's meeting people from all over and building that relationship. That's where my heart's at.
Absolutely.
100%, boss man.
And you talk about going camping and got your little granddaughter with you. She's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
remember that her entire life. Making memories. That's what it's all about.
Yep. That's Allie, the boss.
Yep.
That's what she says.
Oh, absolutely.
Andy says, love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
Yeah.
Chris says, I really enjoyed watching and listening to the co-angler side of things and appreciate it also.
Thank you,
buddy.
Chris.
Yes. Yeah, when Rob and I first started this, we wanted to make sure people who didn't really have a voice had a voice.
Yeah.
And co-angler,
Yeah.
for as long as we've been alive, they've been shunned upon.
Yes, sir.
And then we talked to Travis Birch, and we decided to do a women's only podcast. And they're starting to pick up now.
Oh yeah. And there's some
And,
hammers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
my girl's rough.
But no, we appreciate men like you. You know, you can come on anytime you want. Well, let me know if you want to come on again and we'll schedule a date. I can't say that because we're pushing out till April.
Man, that's good though. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
glad for you. I'm proud for you. We watch you all the time. You know, and I just thank you from the bottom of my heart to allow me to get on here, you know, and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you got a lot of fans and friends out there, my friend.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I'm going to tell you, y'all get a chance, reach out to Tater Reynolds.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, that right there is the boy you need to watch out for. He's coming up, and I'm going to tell you, he's a hammer. Yeah, he's a boater, but but Tater is he's humble.
Yeah.
He's humble. I mean, at midnight, the first night when all this happened, I mean, Tater was on the phone with me. I'm driving back from Lake the Ozarks, and I mean, he was on it, and we met, you know, a month later or 2 months later at a tournament, and I mean, it just pretty emotional, and I'm gonna tell you, everybody's been kind of jumping on MLF pretty hard, but I'm gonna tell you, Alan Gray and Mark Waha, them two right there, they stepped up big time one from my son, and for our family, you know, reaching out, support. Went to Toyota Championship for the big banquet. You know, we walked in early because we knew it was going to be emotional, and both of them came up and said, "Come on, let's step over here and let's just go ahead and get this on over with." So, you know, I mean, them two, they got hearts too, you know, and,
Yes.
and they don't make all the decisions. So, guys, they got a boss that they got to listen to too.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, they're on your side. They're on all of our side. And they really, my hats go off to them for what they have to deal with and do. So I thank you very much for everything y'all do. And we appreciate it. So
Absolutely.
really enjoy it.
Absolutely. And man, when you get that win this year, we're going to have you on right after it, man.
Well, get ready because they're coming in multiples when they come.
That's all right, man. We'll have you on multiple times. We can do that.
Yes, sir.
We may do some special shows on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Well, come on with it.
Yeah. I'm going to add on to what you said about Mark McWaugh and Alan Gray. When I had my boat accident last year, okay, not too many people knew about it. Steve Sizemore was the tournament director.
He was a good man. He's a good man too.
He is. And he called me, contacted me, you know, texted me, wanted to know if I was all right, if there's anything I needed, you know. And this year was his last year doing the Northeast, Steve's Northeast. They put him down, I think your area.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm not fishing the BFLs anymore. I'm going up to the Toyotas.
Yep.
The tournament director. The tournament director has made my decision.
Oh yeah.
And I talked to him on and off camera, on stage, off stage, before tournaments, after tournaments. And you're right. He's just like everybody else.
Yes.
They have a boss to answer to, and
That's
they're just
right.
there to do their job. Don't take it out on them. You know, he asked me what I thought about Oneida Lake as far as wind, and I told him, well, had 15 mile an hour out of the east, you're not doing it.
No.
Not an east-west lake.
No, not at all.
He took some slack for canceling that, but hey, better safe than sorry.
That's right. And there's too many boat accidents nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we've lost some young kids at Pickwick, some high school tournament kids that just, you know, they don't have the experience. In Pickwick, we can get big water very, very fast.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, they don't know how to run and get around it, you know, and even even some older people, you know, I've been in boats with some guys that shouldn't have a license to drive a tricycle, you know, but you know, we all have to, we're out there to enjoy ourselves. Too many people take it too serious. And you've got to remember the bigger picture. We want to come home to our families. At the end of the day, that's the biggest thing, is to come home. You can lie about what you did. You can say what you didn't do. Everybody at the dock has lost a 5-pounder or an 8-pounder, and they should have won this. Hey, if that's what you want to do, brag about it, lie about it, whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, you have fun. You met somebody. You learned a new technique, and you're going home to your family. That's what it's about.
Yep.
Yes, sir. And that, I have one rule. I want to come back.
That's right.
That's my only rule.
Yep.
That's it.
Chris,
I'll see
Chris
you,
said he'll
buddy.
see you at Pickwick.
I'll see you there.
All of Tennessee can get rough fast, John says.
Oh yeah. I was on Wheeler one time, and there's like 4 to 5 foot rollers. It was tough.
We fished that Toyota championship, buddy, and I'm going to tell you, we got spooked a couple of times.
Yeah, I understand. I've been there.
Yeah.
Look, I was fishing a team tournament with a buddy of mine, Doug Schratt. He had a 16-foot pro craft, and we're out in Lake Ontario. He goes, John, we got about 2 minutes before we got to head back, because he saw it, you know. And next thing you know, we're in 10 to 15-foot swells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was it's called Indian Creek. It's just a little creek off of Lake Ontario. We ducked in there finally. I mean, when you're going up and down, dropping into 10 foot, I don't care. Your body aches.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It don't matter if you're 20 or 60. You hurt.
Yep. Oh yeah.
There were 3 to 5 footers around the bend of that creek. That's how bad it was.
Man.
Yeah. All right, James. Well, we're gonna let you off, and
well, I appreciate it.
yeah, we'll have you on again.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely,
sir.
man. We enjoyed it, man, and you take care, my friend.
I enjoyed it, and I will be getting y'all's information and getting you some of these baits out to you.
All right, appreciate it, my
boss
friend.
man.
Thank you.
All right, thanks,
Thank you,
buddy.
sir.
Appreciate you.
Wow.
Woo, man, that love the stories, man. Love the
Same here.
stories. But
All
yeah,
right.
that was good. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have him on, and he's gonna have a win or two this year. We're definitely gonna have him on after, because he's gonna be stoked.
100%. You know.
Yep.
He's one of those what they call a good guy.
Absolutely, through and through, man. And he's been through it a little bit last year, but he said that lure, like I said, is keeping his mind straight. That's an awesome story, and he's got his granddaughter camping with him. I mean, that's
Yes.
great.
You know, and that's one of the things. Like another reason why I went to the Toyotas.
Yep.
You know, I can take my wife and daughter with me.
There you go.
You know, go stay at a house for a week or camp for a week or whatever, and you know, fish at a 1-day BFL event. That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know, you drive down there, fish the tournament, drive home. No,
Yep.
They don't need to do that. But no, it's all about family fun.
Absolutely. And he's, I said, him camping and have his granddaughter with him, man, that's making memories every time he goes out. And she's going to remember that in the future and say, man, I had a great time with my grandparents camping. And that's going to be lifetime memories.
Yep. I have 3 F's. Or 4 F's, I should say. Family, faith, fun, and fishing.
Can't go wrong.
Nope. But all right. So tomorrow we're going to have a recorded show because got something going on, and we recorded a show with Mr. Basscast.
Yeah, great show too, guys.
Yes.
He brings it every time we have him on. I mean, great guest every time.
Yeah. And I was chatting with him earlier today, and he's probably going to be coming on in April.
Good.
So talk to him a little bit about that and see what we can do.
Definitely. But yeah, check out Basscast. His Basscast is just getting bigger and bigger, growing and growing. So
yes,
he's always keeps it fresh and real and new. So he does a great job.
Yeah. And don't forget to sign up for his newsletter.
Absolutely. Yep. I do. Get it all the time.
I do too. Yep.
Enjoy it.
Yes, sir. All right. Anything else, Mr. Ozzy?
No, I'm just glad that the South Mississippi, South Alabama, South Louisiana, and northern Georgia has more snow than I got right now.
And you know what? I'm glad Texas has more snow than me.
That's true. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, you take care, and don't forget we have a show Thursday night too.
Yep. It's gonna be a good guest.
Yeah. Someone you might have heard of before. Used to fish the elites. Now he's over in the MLF.
And Bassmaster Classic champion.
Yes, sir. And Red Crest champion, I think.
Yep.
But Mr. Cliff Balsa Bait Perch.
Pace.
Did I say perch?
You said perch.
You know, it's funny because
Yep.
I have a perch bait right over there. I was looking at it.
Oh, that's it. But hey, he shares one thing in common with me and James Menold. He's from Mississippi.
We don't hold that against him.
Okay, we won't.
James isn't from Mississippi though.
Well, I mean, not originally, but he's there now.
Yeah. But all right, folks. Well, you take care and hopefully see you Thursday.
Absolutely. Everybody stay warm, stay safe out there. I know it's kind of brutal, so y'all be safe.
All right.
Peace.
Good evening, everyone.